Hello, this is Nathan with UnitConnect, the online property management software. In this tutorial, I'll be covering how to send an invitation to a tenant so they can access the tenant portal. The tenant portal is used to make payments online, as well as a host of other features. Please note that a tenant cannot sign up for the UnitConnect tenant portal access on the UnitConnect website. So for example, if you come to UnitConnect.com and if you click on the sign up free button, you'll come up to the sign up page. The sign up page is strictly for property managers, and a tenant, if they create an account here, will not be able to access the tenant portal. So as a property manager, if you want to give access to a tenant to access the tenant portal, you're going to go and log in. And from the dashboard, you're going to want to go to the admin menu in the top of the menu screen. Click on admin. From the admin screen, we're going to scroll down and click the bottom here, application management. And we'll see that we have the manage tenant portal menu, and I'm going to click on go. From here, you want to make sure that you have portal access enabled. So I could click disable and then they wouldn't be able to access it. And if I go to our tenants, then we'll see the tenants that are broken down by non-registered and registered tenants here at the top on this tab. And so currently we have one property with one tenant, Tim Smith. And so I'm going to go ahead and invite tenant. Now, I've sent the invitation email to my personal email address so I can walk through that workflow. So I'm going to go ahead and click invite tenant. Invite sent to Tim Smith. So now I'm going to wait for that to appear in the email inbox. All right, so I've gone to my email and pretending that I'm the tenant. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on the email I received. Hi, Tim Smith. You were invited to register for UnitConnect tenant portal. Use the following invitation code to register. Follow this URL to register your account. So now I'm going to go ahead and open up this URL. And I'm going to go ahead and copy this invitation code. After the tenant has opened up the registration URL, they'll have to enter their information, Tim Smith. For the username, it needs to be an email address. So I'm going to use the same email address. Password. And for the invitation code, it's the same invitation code that was in the email. I'm going to paste that there, scroll to the bottom and click register. All right, so now we can see that the tenant has access to the tenant portal. And so we have a bunch of information that the tenant can view: account summary, lease summary, rent, additional charges, and this is how the tenant can now access this information and make payments and everything else. In addition, I would also like to share how a tenant would access the tenant portal without the link from their email. So I'm going to go ahead and log out of the tenant portal, and I'm going to go and close this tab. And here we are on the UnitConnect website. And so if we go into our menu screen, we have a login dropdown. And so we have owner login and tenant login. And so by clicking on the tenant login, I can now access the tenant portal. So I'm going to go ahead and add my details for my account, my password, and log on. So now we can see Tim Smith, our tenant, has access to the tenant portal, and that's how he would go through the process to log in. So if I come over back to UnitConnect, and now I'm going to reload this page as the property manager and go over to tenants. Now we can see that our tenant is a registered tenant and no longer appears on the non-registered tenants page. So if I click on registered tenants, we can see that our tenant appears. So this is a way to verify whether or not your tenants have created an account. In addition, you can enable or disable their access to the tenant portal by toggling these two options on the right-hand side. Another thing I would like to cover is what happens if you send the email invitation link to your tenant, but the tenant claims that they never received it or cannot find it. So in that instance, what you can do is you can come over to our Properties tab, click on the property of the related unit in which the tenant is in, click on the tenant, and on the left-hand side under Actions, we're going to go to Tenant Info. Once we're on the Tenant Info page, we have several tabs. Here are 4 here at the top, and here are 3 here at the bottom. So we want to be under Tenant Info, and here we want to be under Tenant Portal. So here on the Tenant Portal, we can also see our invitation code is right here. So as I mentioned, if the tenant said or claims that they did not receive the invitation code, you can refer to it and communicate it to them via text or phone here in UnitConnect. So this concludes the video on how to send an invitation to the tenant portal in UnitConnect. Please be sure to check out other videos on the UnitConnect YouTube channel, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much.